Welcome to the Aceman, everybody. It's time to go behind the funny. This is Scott Higgins.
And this is Ace Aceto.
And thank you for joining us. Thank you for downloading us. Thank you for subscribing. We appreciate it so very much. And if you have a moment, please give us that 5-star written review wherever you download your podcast. It's a great way to help the podcast. If you want to help us out another way, tell a friend. We all learn about podcasts from our friends' recommendations, and that's a way you can help us out by recommending us to a friend.
And the last way, if you really enjoy the show, is to go to our Patreon page and become a patron. And that is at www.patreon.com/behindthefunny. And what that will get you, it's one simple giving level, $5 a month. That will get you a t-shirt or a mug, some sort of merchandise, as well as unlocking bonus content that only our patrons can access.
Thank you so much for supporting us. If you want to reach out, you got a question for us, you got a comment, anything, please send us an email at behindthefunnypod@gmail.com.
And now, enjoy the show.
Be careful. He's
and Scott Higgins, both of them coked up out of their minds.
Listen to you. He's down in the basement.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
I think we should call this the Acement.
The Acement, yes.
Yeah, what do you think there, huh?
I like that. The Acement Studios.
Excuse me, I'm drinking beer. Hold on a second.
We usually drink bourbon on our end.
Yeah,
when we
right.
do the podcast, so
That's all right.
feel free to enjoy yourself.
Yeah, exactly. You shoot an 8-ball if you want. We don't care, as long as it's good stories.
And thanks for joining us, everybody. You're in double frame this week, everybody. Notice I am sans Ace in the Acement, but I'm not sans on Ace on the podcast. He is still with me in spirit in the Acement.
Yes, I am. Thank you. It's a little creepy having you in my house and me in a hotel in New Hampshire, but I guess it'll work.
I'm digging it. And for those of you
I'm
heading
sure
here,
you are, because you're not wearing pants and you're rubbing your ass all over my seats.
I already completed the second floor. I got to do the first floor after the podcast.
Great.
For those of you heading here for the after party, the cocaine is cut on the kitchen table. Beer is in the fridge. Get started. I'll be up shortly. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us. I wanted to represent the Acement. That's why I'm here tonight. Ace is on the road for work, but we wanted to have the podcast. We got a great guest tonight. Ace, what are you drinking for your bourbon date tonight?
Oh, well, hold on. I have to take off my settings because I have my background on, but you can't really see my what I'm drinking because I am in the great state of New Hampshire, folks. And what that means is I visited the New Hampshire liquor store.
Oh, it's my favorite. I love going there.
And we all know what's great about the New Hampshire liquor store: cheaper prices and no tax. And so I saw this, and Scott, you said that you've either had this or you've seen it before.
I haven't had it. I've heard great things about it, and
well, I will try not to drink all of it.
Well, if you do, you do. We'll just have to get some more.
We'll get some more. But I also picked up a special thing for our special December month. But I love this because of the bottle, and it's funny because it even says on the bottle, it says, "Don't get hung up on the bottle." Yeah, right? It says, "Don't get hung up on the bottle because the juice inside is every bit as great." And so this, look at that
bourbon
bottle. Isn't that cool?
It really stands out when you're in a liquor store shopping, because a lot of the bottles look very similar, but that one is not like any other. But I heard the bourbon itself is very, very good.
It's delicious. It actually is delicious.
And I am in the Acement with the sloppy seconds.
There you go.
All the leftovers, but they're all delicious. I've grown very fond of Noble Oak
Noble Oak is good. Our buddy
thanks to Mitch Stinson introduced us to it. I got some Motorhead, which I very much enjoyed when you brought the Ace of Spades out, and we got some Heaven's Door left. So, but I'm starting with the Noble Oak tonight because that one I really like. It's delicious.
Awesome.
So, but we got to get to our guest because this is a guy. When you told me you booked him, I was so excited because he's of that vein of. When he is on stage, he has got high energy. He's fast. I mean, you really got to pay attention because he is so quick-witted and fast. And I love watching this guy. I've got to work with him only a couple of times, but I've got to watch him a few other times, and I love watching this guy.
That's awesome. I haven't had the opportunity to work with him, but I've heard so many great things about him. So when he was able to come on, and he does work another job, and he's been working like crazy hours, so we really appreciate him joining us from the job site. So welcome to the Behind the Funny podcast, Mr. Dan Miller. There he is.
Hello, guys.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, how you doing? I'm actually home tonight.
Oh, you are home.
Nice.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I know you said you weren't sure if you were going to be from the job site.
We've been doing nights. Yeah.
So you were able to join from home. That's awesome. We really appreciate it, man. We had Jason Merrill on a couple of weeks ago, and he spoke. Well, I was going to say he spoke highly of you, but he said, "Who the fuck is Dan Miller?"
Well, I just worked with Jason,
really?
and he just ate his manhood royally.
That's awesome. Don't we all love to see our friends eat it?
Wait. When we had Jason on, he said how he always kills.
He never had a bad set.
Never had a bad set.
Well,
you saw the first.
I asked him. I said, "How do you think that went?" He goes, "I crushed." And I said, "The only thing you crushed was your larynx from your manhood pressing against your back of your throat."
Awesome.
So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's what I was talking about with Dan. That's him on stage too.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry, I got problems.
But you bring that to the stage, and that's what makes you hilarious when you're on stage.
It's my mother. I blame her.
Is it really?
Well, that's what you tell the therapist anyway.
Yeah. If I only had one, this is my therapy.
Yeah, it is for all of us, my friend. It is for all of us.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you been doing comedy for, Dan? Because you've been in the game a while.
Just as a little less than Bill Burr, but I have only $5 less than him in the bank.
Yeah, that's it.
Me too.
Yeah,
very similar.
92. It started November 92.
Do you still remember the first place you ever did?
Yes, I
stand
do.
Up? We all do. We all remember our first time. Where was that?
The Charles Playhouse. It was called the Comedy Cafe down the street from the Knicks.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go up at Knicks, and the booker at the time, his name was Dominic.
Yep.
And he was meaner than anybody. And I was sitting there with Kevin Knox, and he said, "When you see the red light, get the fuck off the stage." And I went, "Oh, shit." And Kevin goes, "This isn't for you right now." So he took me down the street, tried to get me up over there. And they said, "We can't get him on tonight, but we'll set up a date." And then when I set up my date, I had to go to open mics and everything. And it's crazy.
It is in the beginning because you're like a baby learning how to walk. You have no idea what you're doing. You come up with this material, and once you go on stage and you start doing it, you're screwing up words, and your pacing is off, and you're just kind of all over the place. But man, there's something about it that keeps making you go back up there and do it again. And because you're either thinking to yourself, that went well, I got to do it again, or you're thinking, I know I can do better than that. The one of the two keeps drawing you back.
Or you're just a fucking idiot.
That's what we've all
for doing it.
That's what we've all become eventually, and why we keep going back every single week.
But you know what? Kudos to Kevin Knox for saying, you know what, you're not ready for this.
What a sweetheart! I miss that man. Yeah, he was a good guy.
Every one of us who ever worked with him, I mean, he was just one of the most. I don't even think he realized just how much of a positive influence he was on people, because he never ever had a bad thing to say about anyone. Nope. Like he was just so supportive of everyone he was on a show with, because he knew if you got to that point, if you were on a show with him, you were good enough to be on a show with him.
Yeah.
You know,
And
he's
well,
an awesome guy.
The first time I was supposed to do it was at Stitches.
Oh,
And,
okay.
it was actually, I was there hanging out with my buddy. I don't know if you ever heard of Tommy Amato.
Oh yeah,
He's-
Tommy. Yeah.
Tommy, good buddy. We started out the same exact time.
Okay.
And he was really into comedy. I wasn't. And so I said, Tommy, there's a list on the wall. He goes, oh, I'm not ready yet. I said, well, you're a fucking pussy. And I wrote my name on the wall. He goes, you're a fucking asshole. And then he wrote his name on the wall. And then they shut the club down.
So it's your fault.
It's my fault. Yeah. So that's where it
That's
started.
hilarious. Oh my God.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
It was
because
on a dare.
I had been at Stitches, so I started in '89, but I started in Rhode Island, and it wasn't until about 90, 91 that I started making my way up to Boston, and Stitches was one of those, one of the few places that I tried first, and it was I think it was Sunday night, Vinny Favorito's night. And
Oh, yeah.
he was hosting, and I remember Barry Crimmins going up and being scared shitless because all he did was screamed at everyone, audience and comics, and I was so afraid.
Oh, yeah.
And then years later, I had talked to him on Facebook, and he was such a sweetheart. And I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
God, I had him pegged so wrong. He was such a nice guy.
He was unbelievable.
But he was just crazy on stage.
See, I
Yeah,
decided to wait until all of those clubs closed, and there was only two clubs left in Boston to start comedy.
Yeah.
So,
Good timing.
and actually, I was smart. I was too chicken to try it when there was plenty of places to do it, and waited until it was a lot harder. But Dan, you mentioned Kevin Knox, and actually my first time on stage was Knoxie's Monday night at Faneuil Hall, and I still have it on tape. And he, to this day, I think gave me the best intro I ever got on stage. He made that crowd like me before I ever even got up there, and then gave me some advice afterwards. And it's just one of the greatest moments that I've had in 20 years of doing this. That was that night with him. He was so awesome, and that was one of the things that made me immediately say I want to get back up and do this again. Was him. Because he was just one of those guys in comedy that we come across that you just makes an impact on you that you never forget.
Yeah. Even like in the end, like I would be at a club and I'd say, Kevin, want to do a shot? He'd go, I have cancer, Daddy. I have cancer.
Of course I want to do a shot.
I go, woo, 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 woo. That was his favorite. His favorite woo.
Yeah.
I ended up, we were at Daisy Buchanan's in Boston.
Yeah.
And he was so drunk, he was giving me a piggyback down Newbury Street. And then I said, Kevin, yo, 5-0, right? He looks over, he goes in his pocket, pulls out a knife, this big, he goes, and he's walking down Newbury Street like I'll get him. It was hysterical. Oh, my God.
Out of his mind.
He was one of the most naturally funny people I have ever met. You just a conversation with him and you're in tears. And one of the greatest people.
But no matter how many times he said the same things over and over again,
yes,
you still laugh.
Yes.
Oh, cry,
You'd be sitting in the green room, and he'd walk in, and he's like, "Look at these fucking young guys. How's your cock? How's your cock? You're all young and virile, not like me. I'm an old fucking guy. I can't do it anymore. Meanwhile, he had more energy than any of us.
Oh yeah. He was unbelievable.
Now, when you first started, were you doing pretty well right out of the gates, or did you struggle with
everywhere? I crushed everywhere. Yeah.
I didn't know we had Jason Merrill on again.
Oh yeah, Jason Merrill Part 2.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. This was him.
I used to taste my manhood a lot. No, I had fun. My first time on stage, I was so nervous. I had my whole people there, and it was Vinny Favorito night, so he broke my balls.
Of course.
But I've been very lucky and fortunate. I'll just keep going on and doing. I mean, and we've all been there where just like they put me up at Nick's way. I only had like maybe 3 minutes, and he says do 10, and they just hated me, and they got madder and madder and madder. And Nick's back in the day was the Thunderdome. You had like 300 people in there, and it's like, if you didn't do well, they hated you. Hated you.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that.
That's what grows you.
Now, has your style always been the same as it is now, where you have that, you come on stage with that energy and you kind of keep that energy the whole time, or have you changed over the years?
No, because this is how I feel. Sometimes when I sit back and I watch the show, I feel sometimes the crowd needs a kick in the balls.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I mean, I don't want to down any comics, but sometimes I feel like they're up there and just telling them, I understand stories, but they're just going on and I'm like, fucking kick him, punch him,
Right,
I'm like that.
Right.
Fucking, I get crazy, I want to fucking just chop and just scream like a kind of a Kevin, just
like a Kevin. Yeah. A lot of us.
Yeah,
a lot of us were influenced by Kevin in that way, where I notice it. There's sometimes like I find when I play a theater, I have to purposely change my style because I'm so used to that rapid fire, like under my breath stuff. And then you get in a theater and you have to wait for the laughs. And it's like, oh shit, I can't do it like I normally do.
When you get a bigger crowd, about 1,000, 1,500 to 2,000, you got to slow it down.
Exactly.
Because I always talk over even they say, Dan, you're talking over the laughter. I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah, right.
But they said
you're like, good. Fucking let them laugh at the next one.
Yeah, exactly. Really.
If they miss,
choke on it, you bitch.
If they miss one, another one's coming right after it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. Right.
I always had fun. I mean, especially starting in Boston. I mean, I ran into some of the best in the business, and I had to follow John Panette once.
Really?
Holy shit.
He had a middle Boston so we can close Kowloon's.
Oh, get out.
And they were all there to see him. And then I went up. But I said, I want to do it. Let me do it.
Yeah.
So they said, okay, you'll go up. I only had 5 minutes. So I went up after him and I was getting the sympathy laughs. They were a nice crowd, but they would give me sympathy laughs.
Yeah.
And then I said to them, fuck you. I'm fat too, I turned him right around. Boom. Right around. I turned him,
So they didn't yell, you go now. You've been here 4
hours.
No, you've been here 4 minutes.
He was the best.
Yeah.
He
was so big. You scared my wife.
Yeah. Why you don't eat broccoli?
Scott worked with him a couple of times. I never got a chance to work with him, but I got to meet him.
He was a sweetheart of a person.
I got to meet him once when Scott was opening up for him, and he was just an absolute nice guy. He was like, "Oh, you're a comic too? Oh, that's great." Yeah.
Do you like to smoke pot?
Yeah. Do you want to smoke some pot in the back?
He was great,
then we'll go for Chinese.
I miss him, man. He was good. Another good dude.
There's so many. Listen, there's so many people that we've lost that you miss so much. It's
we've talked about it before. Some of the hilarious people we mentioned, Noxie, and then Bob Seibel, Rich Seisler,
Seisler,
just amazingly funny people. And all the ones that we mentioned were genuinely nice people too. Great pleasure to work with. Crushed in front of crowds. And it's
unfortunate because I don't think there's anyone that's passed that you're like, oh, thank fucking God that one.
Well, you know what?
It's all the good ones that have gone.
Yeah. But I also think 99% of the people that I've come across in comedy have genuinely been good people. It's literally, I can count on one hand, and not to do the Tom Cotter joke if I was holding the fucking calculator. I genuinely, there's only been very few that were difficult to work with or jerks or anything like that. There's been very few. Most people in comedy are pretty decent people. Most of the time. I haven't run into very many that are difficult.
Especially in the Boston scene. I think because we're not New York, because we're not LA, we kind of all stick together. And I found, and you probably see this, Dan, like when you started back in 89, 92, it was like Boston and everyone else. And now it seems like it's gotten more towards, you're a New England comic.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
there's not that rivalry between Boston, Providence, Boston, Portland, Maine. Like everyone is just a New England comic, and if you're a New England comic, you've made your bones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love that about it. That it's gotten like that.
We're hardy.
Yes, yes. Like a good
Some of
beef
us are
stew.
hardier than others.
Well,
You know.
we're like a good beef stew.
Oh yeah.
Now, Dan, where did you grow up?
South End, Boston.
South End, Boston. Now, did you have brothers and sisters?
One brother.
And
Funny than me. I can't touch him for funny.
Is he older or younger?
He's younger.
So you're the oldest.
Yeah.
Okay, because
Wow.
we've been doing kind of a sociological experiment over the last 5 years, and less than 10 times has the oldest in the family become the comedian.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
Normally it's the youngest or the middle child that becomes the comedian, and the oldest is like
The brain
doctor,
surgeon,
lawyer,
uh,
brain
Yeah.
surgeon. Yeah.
Now, what does your younger brother do for a living?
He works at a construction supply house.
Okay.
Yes,
Yep.
just he's front counter guy. He's been there for years. He loves it. Cracks all the guys up.
Yep.
No, I
And
was
you
just
said, and has he ever thought of doing comedy?
No,
Really?
he likes to play the guitar. He likes playing guitar and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, because
So-
usually the middle or the younger child, they're always depressed. You know,
right.
they're always depressed.
Which drives
I
them
mean,
to comedy.
Yeah, why are depressed people in comedy?
Yeah, because
I'm a happy fuck. I'm not gonna go on the biggest fattest loser and cry. I'm not gonna go anywhere and cry.
No.
I don't give a fuck. I have fun.
Dude, I'm the same way. When do you remember the Grill 93?
Oh yeah.
All right. So
North Andover.
up in North Andover. So I was working at the Grill 93 one night, and there were two guys that managed it. It was Ronnie that booked all of us,
Ronnie
and then
Sauer.
Yeah.
Jeffrey was his partner, who was like the runner of the restaurant. And I'll never forget, there was one night I was sitting at the bar one night before a show, and Jeffrey's daughter, who was like 19 at the time, struck up a conversation with him and with her. And by the end of the night, she's like, "Wow, you're not like other comics. You're like normal." And I'm like, "Yeah, because I can hold a conversation, and I don't just do comedy. I have like this other life besides it." And it's, you're right. I'm not depressed. I'm not like, I don't have like a million psychological issues. I'm pretty well adjusted. I had a good childhood, but I still do comedy,
Well, there was always a theory that the best comedy comes from the darkest places. I mean, you look at Richard
we all have
Pryor,
dark
you look
places.
at Robin Williams, you look at, some of these people that have had tragedies in their life.
Yeah.
They were, pretty funny out there. But I look at someone like Steve Martin. He doesn't look like he deals with too much tragedy or he's too depressed or anything like that. He comes across as a bit of an introvert when he's not on stage, but he's pretty damn funny. He's done pretty well for himself. I don't know what the magic formula is. I think and I forgot who said it, that you can't pretend to be funny. You either are or you are not. You can pretend to be serious. That's why a lot of people can act and become actors, because you can pretend to be serious, but you cannot pretend to be funny. You either have that timing or you do not.
Well, Patrice O'Neill, when I started out with Patrice too, and we used to talk, and Patrice said, "It's easy for us. It's easy for us because we're funny.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers aren't funny." And it's just like that. He goes, "You just go up there and do your thing."
Yep.
And I go,
well,
okay.
And if you think about it, to Scott's point, there's a lot of comedians and comedic actors who can be serious and do dramatic acting.
Yeah.
There aren't that many dramatic actors that are good at comedy.
Yeah.
Very few.
Yeah.
So I think it's a different talent that we have when you're able to make someone funny. Now,
I tried acting.
Did you?
Did you?
I tried acting class, and I was actually what's the guy's name? He was a great acting coach.
Yeah.
But I did something in there, like we was around a circle,
Yep.
and everybody had to say their name. And I immediately went to the comedy. I went, I am Dan Miller. I'm an alcoholic. And he looked at me and went, so do you think that was funny? Do you think it was funny?
Man.
Was it funny?
Yeah.
Dude, was that supposed to be funny? And he's just going on. He's just like analyzing me. I'm like, dude, back the fuck up, man. This is weird.
Right, right.
But yeah, it was a different
When in all actuality, it was funny.
Right.
Because you're in a circle and you're bringing up, an AA meeting. You're making it into an AA meeting.
Yeah.
But
Now-
I think there's some like serious acting coaches that look at that as a threat. And that's probably why he attacked you.
Yeah.
Because he looked at it as a threat, like, oh, this guy's undermining my class.
Yeah.
He's not taking this seriously.
No, he's not taking it serious. And I wasn't. I was young and stupid.
Yeah. No.
It's like last year.
I just had the class last night.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Now, in school, were you the class clown?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Did you get in?
No, 'cause some guys were not.
For it? Did you get in trouble for it?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Because there's two different kinds of class clowns. There's the class clown that gets in trouble all the time, and then there's the sneaky class clown like me, where I would make people laugh, they'd all laugh, and then the teacher would get them in trouble.
Oh yeah. Well, I found myself in the office a couple of times, and
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that, Dan. I was the guy in the office all the time.
Yeah, I had an Italian teacher teaching Spanish. So he'd go, "Como está ustedes?" And I would just break his balls, and he's like, and he'd make me write stuff on the board, and I would just go, October 1986 and he'd fucking go to the office. So yeah, I had problems. Yeah, he was funny.
Now,
awesome.
92. I mean, you're 30 years this year.
Yeah.
In 30 years' time, you must have, had some pretty major highlights. Some, you mentioned.
No.
Well, we like to call them wow moments. Like they're the moments where you're working with someone that you're either like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm working with this person, or you're doing a venue where you're like, I can't believe I'm working.
Yeah, I got one. Yeah.
And you've named two names that to me are two of the all-time funniest people I've ever seen, and that's John Burnett, Patrice O'Neill.
Yeah.
Are two of the all-time funniest. But there's got to be a couple other in the.
No, the biggest one for me was Eddie Galvin. He when he gave me the finger.
Having 8 motherfuckers over for dinner.
You ever notice they write stuff on police cars?
When he gave me the finger, I knew I was in the Rhode Island comedy.
How about my friend Dan Miller working rest stops all over New England?
Clubs, colleges, and highway rest stops all over New England.
Yeah. Hey, listen, you're not the
made
first
my
person.
night right there.
Hey, you're not the first person to bring up Eddie Galvin on a podcast. He's been brought up. Joe Rogan and Greg Fitzsimmons brought him up on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Well, that's great. That's
Eddie
great.
Galvin is infamous.
He said to me, he goes, hey, when he was working with Johnny Parada a lot, he goes, me and Johnny can farm you out, we can farm you out. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
So,
listen, Dan.
So, officer, how the rest of the village people?
Yeah.
I said, I know I'm fat, but Jesus Christ, fucking
farm me out?
Farm me out. No, we can farm you out, Okay. No, I have the pleasure of all the time. I work with Lenny Clark all the time. I love him.
Oh,
he's such a top-notch guy.
Yeah.
His brother Mike Clark is so good to me.
Yeah.
And I work with all those guys. I mean, back in the day, I used to work with Bill Burr, Dane Cook, all those guys, man. And
Bobby Kelly and all.
Bobby Kelly. Yep. But I mean, it was really great upbringing of guys.
Yeah.
Well, one of the big David Tell. I loved work. I worked with him, opened up for him, and he's Providence connection.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's
People-
funny because a lot of the guys so you came up with that class. It sounds like that 92 class was Bill Burr, Bobby Kelly,
Dane Cook,
Dane Cook,
Patrice
Gary-
O'Neill,
Gary Gallman,
Patrice,
Gary
Gary
Gallman,
Gallman,
Greg Fitzsimmons.
yeah,
Fitzsimmons,
Aldo Benny.
Aldo
Yeah.
Benny. We've
My
had
boy.
Al. We actually had Al on the show a couple of years ago from Australia. It was
yeah, he's the
amazing.
best. He's unbelievable.
Such an awesome
He
guy.
was
Yeah.
hilarious.
So yeah. So now, did you do that? Everyone that talks about that 92 class, did you do what was it, the 99 in Bill Ricca?
I didn't.
No,
I did not do that. No.
because I never did it either. But
Nah,
everyone
no.
talks about that place as being like infamous.
Yeah.
It's
Johnny
like a
David.
rite of passage. for the
John
people
David,
at that
yeah,
time.
yeah.
John always talks about that place. You know, they talk about how they made their bones there. You know.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
You know. Yeah.
That's so funny.
That was like
Yeah.
the bada bing back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We had some good ones. I don't know if you ever did the one in Kenmore Square, the Akua for Dick Doherty.
Oh, in Worcester.
In
No,
Worcester?
no, I did the one in
Oh.
Worcester.
Yeah.
No, there was one in Kenmore Square in Boston.
Oh, really?
Oh, was there?
Aku-
No,
there
I
was an Aku in Boston. I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that was a great one. Yeah, I did the one in Worcester though. That was
Yeah.
they're drinking the scorpion bones like liquid
Yes.
crack. You know, it was
Yes.
like crazy. Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
funny.
That could be a rough room, the one in Worcester.
The last
Yeah.
time I worked the room in Worcester was with Orny Adams.
Oh, Orny.
And it
Yeah.
was so funny because
Yeah.
Orny was on. I talked to Scott about this a couple of months ago. Orny was on Mark Maron's podcast a few months ago, and it was hilarious listening to Mark uncomfortably introduce the episode. And he's like, "Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why this guy always annoyed me. He just fucking did." And then, I had him on. I figured, let's bury the hatchet. And now I know why he annoyed me, And then I listened to the episode and I'm like, now I know why Orny annoyed everyone, because he's still the same.
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck.
You know what? When you watch his stand-up, he is an amazing stand-up.
Unbelievable.
I can't take that away from him. But he was that guy that always had, like, whenever you would work with him, he always had something big cooking.
Oh yeah.
There was always something about, like, he's on the verge of catapulting to fame, and it never happened. And to this day, he still sounds the same. Even when Mark Maron had him on the podcast, he was making it sound like he was on the verge of, like, superstardom.
Well, you want a good
funny.
peek at Orny? Go watch Jerry Seinfeld's documentary Comedian.
Oh yeah, but he made it sound like that was a character, and it wasn't. That was Orny.
Yeah, I mean that was that was a good peak when Barry
Barry Katz.
Barry Katz was trying to give him some advice, and Barry
He's
Katz
like, who the fuck is
walks away
that?
and goes, who the fuck is he? What does he know? And it's like, seriously, he's managed some of the biggest acts in the business. Blowing him off. It was
so funny.
Yeah, and I remember him saying afterwards, he goes, well, that's just the way they portrayed me. That's not really how it was.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
That's you. That was you.
It's okay.
That was a
And
good
you're right.
portrayal.
He's a good stand-up. You can't take that away from him.
He's a great
No, he
stand-up.
doesn't.
If you watch his material, he's fantastic. It's just off stage, he's just an annoying fucking person.
Yeah. Oh shit.
But so wow moments, obviously working with Lenny is always a wow moment. I mean, I remember I started in '89. I think in 1990 I got to open for Lenny, and he was the first headliner that told me I was funny. And
wow. Yeah.
And I was like, I never forgot that. And, who knows? I saw him years later. I worked with him at Chunky's a couple of years ago, and I was like, Lenny, you made my day when you said that.
Yeah.
And, who the hell knows if he remembers it. But he liked my act.
Yeah. He's a good dude, man.
He's just
he is.
awesome, always positive, and he just worries the shit out of me every 3 months with the heart attacks. You know what I mean?
I know.
It's like, I know he's done a lot to get in shape and get in better health, but I think the years, the years that he wasn't focusing on it.
The only reason why he got into shape is to beat Mike Myers.
Really?
Oh yeah. They told him when he had to train for that, he was going to get the better of Mike Myers.
Really?
And then when it gets to the set, they go, "Oh, yeah, forget about that. You're going to die."
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He trained with Gronk and everything.
That's hilarious.
Oh, I know. The funny thing is, you look at him and he's like, just biked like 45 fucking miles, blah, blah, blah. And then he's enjoying a cigar at the end of it. And it's like, Lenny, come on, you're undoing everything.
Yeah. When he's in Aruba doing shows and he shows a beach pic and he's got abs.
It's unbelievable.
And then you're right. The next
7 years old, he's got abs.
And then the next pic, he's got a cigar.
Yeah.
I love Lenny.
Well, this is the kind of guy he is. I was doing a show with him at Giggles one night, and my father was sick in the hospital. And he goes, let's call him right now. So we're outside Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
He calls my dad. He goes, "What the fuck are you doing in there? Get the fuck out of there." My father's laughing his balls off, forgets about he's even sick in the hospital.
Yeah.
He didn't have to do that,
Totally took his mind off of it, right?
Yeah. He calls my mother all the time. "Sandy, what the fuck are you doing? Take your meds right. That's how I got a stroke." So he's a good human, man.
He
really is. Yeah.
And that's another example of, like we were talking about earlier, someone that's hilariously funny and genuinely a good person.
Yeah.
I've been lucky enough to work with him a few times, and every time I see him afterwards, he gives me a hug, how he goes, "How are the girls?" Because he remembers, because I talk about my girls in my act, and he's just such a good guy.
But that's what I love about the New England scene. Like, yes, there's the Boston comics, the Rhode Island comics, the New Hampshire, the Maine. But if anyone from outside ever comes after any of us, we all band together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're all New England comics. That's what it comes down to. No one's going to shit on Bob Marley because he's from Maine.
No,
because
Bobby's
the people
great.
from Boston will come back and be like, "Hey, leave Bobby alone." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, I love that about our scene. And it wasn't always like that. Like, listen, you came up in the same time where Rhode Island comics were looked down upon. Because let's face it, there were a lot of Rhode Island comics that were just very dirty, and that's because the Rhode Island audiences were blue collar. They were very blue collar. So you had to be dirty to grab the audience.
Yeah.
If you came down from Boston and you did your Stitches clever, clean comedy, they didn't buy it. You had to kind of adapt.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that as time has gone on, we've all kind of bonded and gotten to that point where it doesn't matter where you're from. We're all New England comics.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And we're all better than everyone in the rest of the country.
Fuck them. Yeah.
That's right.
Ace, one of the first weekends I worked East Providence, Mike McDonald was the headliner.
Yeah.
And he's like, guys,
we don't have to break the fuck meter.
He goes, first off, we don't need to break the fuck meter, but remember, this crowd is already lowbrow enough. Let's not go down to their level. Let's bring them up to our level.
He's not wrong. He wasn't wrong.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah. Oh, he's never wrong. He's never fucking wrong.
Just ask him.
Listen, I love Mike.
I've become good friends with him over the years. So
we had him on a couple of years ago. In fact, we actually did the episode from it was the Bertucci's in Waltham, and he was so pissed off that we took him to Bertucci's instead of the nice sushi bar
next door.
He goes, there's a really nice sushi bar right next door. We couldn't go there. We got to have fucking Bertucci's, where it takes me an hour and a half to get a glass of Chardonnay.
He's such a diva.
Oh my God, I love him.
We did this thing called All Pro Productions.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
And we're up in I think it was Ringe, New Hampshire. I wasn't there at the show, and he didn't like the lighting.
Oh yeah.
So he told the guys that ran the thing to park cars on the fucking lawn and turn on their headlights.
Just to have better
They
lighting.
said that's the last time you were here.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Now it's funny you say that because we've talked about that on this show before about people, places, certain bars, stuff like that. They think comedy can just fit anywhere. They think you just put a guy in the corner and he can tell jokes and everyone's going to have a good time. Has there been any really strange places or odd places that people have had you try to perform in that maybe some worked, maybe some didn't, a type of place? What's some of the stranger ones where they've tried to have you do comedy?
I did this place called Bob's Sports Bar in Cow, Hampshire. And they didn't turn off any of the TVs.
That's one of mine that I talk about all the time.
Yeah.
Was it a sports bar?
It was a sports bar.
Yep.
That's not even the weird part. The stage was, you had to stand on the booth. The table hit you in the shin, and you had to duck underneath the TV. Okay? So everybody's playing Keno, watching TV, and everybody's doing their act and eating their cocks. So what I did was, there was women figure skating on the TV. So I started licking the TV.
Pre-COVID, of course, right? Pre-COVID.
Oh, I didn't give a fuck. And
he would do that today.
Yeah. And everybody's looking and going, what the fuck is he doing? And all of a sudden, I went right into my material right after I'm done licking the TV, because you had to do something. You had to.
You drew them in.
Yeah,
you drew them in.
Yeah.
That's one way to do it.
And then a couple of parada gigs. I love Johnny, but he puts you like, hey, don't worry. Hey, you ain't big guy, he's sorry,
Hey, they got a great chicken palm there, though. You got to try it, brother.
Brother, you're up 8. You're up 8 out of 252. Don't worry about it, brother.
I got you on 18th, Danny. You're going to crush the room, brother.
He'll tell you this story. I don't know if you guys did the one in Smithfield, Green Acres or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm there one night as a guest spot. So I go up there and I said, Green Acres I said something. I said, and they have shitty curtains, right? I don't know if you heard the curtain story.
No.
So I come off the stage, and the owner, which I don't know if he was from Federal Hill, he's like, hey, let me ask you a question. What do you got, a problem with those curtains? And I laughed a little. I said, yeah, no. I said, no. I go, no, really. What problem do you have with those curtains? He goes, 2 fucking G's for those curtains. What problem? What the fuck was about those curtains?
And by the way, that was 2 G's in 1982.
Yeah.
So I went, haven't been changed since.
I went, he goes, what the fuck were you doing? I go, I was reaching. He goes, what were you reaching for? I go, a joke? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
And he gave me that dinner like, and he walked away. And then Johnny goes, what just happened?
Whoa,
I go,
brother, what are you doing?
Yeah, I go, the guy was pissed about his curtains. He goes, fuck him.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, he'll tell you that story, man. It's one of the funniest stories ever.
That guy went in the kitchen and go, hey, the fucking funny guy out there, go see what car he's driving.
I swear to God, that's
believe
the first time I was ever
you.
intimidated. I was ever intimidated.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I totally believe you. Yeah, fucking Danny the Joke Man out there. Make sure you find out what fucking car he's driving.
Now you can't leave. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was scary. No, not too many. I mean, you go to the gig and you could tell when something's gonna suck. You go, here we go. When they did what's that music venue on Lansdowne Street?
Oh yeah.
It's a big. The House of Blues. No, House of Blues. Yeah, House of Blues.
Yeah, House of Blues.
Yeah.
House of Blues. I pull up there. It's pouring rain out. There's Tony V. He goes, am I the only one that knows this is going to suck? And I thought it was going to be a big show,
Yeah, right.
We were the comics between the bands as they're wrapping up their chords.
That's always
putting
good.
the cymbals away. We're telling dick jokes, like that.
Dan, in season 2 of this podcast, we decided to get a panel of comics together. It was me, Scott, John Parada, and Mike McCarthy, and we
I love
sat
Mikey.
down and we sat down. Oh, listen here, kid.
Yeah.
We
He was one of the ones.
We sat down and we tried to come up with a list of the top 10 things that, as a comic, when you walk into a venue, if you see any of these things, you know it's going to be a sucky gig, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
We couldn't even narrow it down to 10. We had to narrow it down to 12. And two of the things you just said, it was like the show where the sports, like the playoffs are going on, like the Bruins are in the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
the TVs are on, and the owner says, "Well, we're not going to shut the TVs off, but we'll turn the volume down."
Yeah.
That'll help. That'll help.
Yeah. Thanks.
And then the other one is exactly what you just said. It's when you turn around and they're like, yeah, you guys are going to go on in between the musical acts.
Yeah.
But don't stand where the musicians are. Like you have a 1 by 1 foot area on the stage that you can stand while they're clearing their instruments off the fucking stage behind you.
I did a show one time up in New Hampshire, and we went on after Peter Tork from the Monkees.
Oh, Jesus.
And he was mad that we were there. So he purposely took forever after his set and didn't break down his stuff. And they started the comedy show, and he decided to tear down while we were doing the comedy show. And he purposely was like banging stuff and putting stuff away and being loud and obnoxious and everything. Well, and I finally said something to the crowd. I said, "Hey, how about a quick hand for my opening act, Peter Tork from the Monkees?" And he was so friggin' pissed when
that's awesome. That's great.
Because he was being so over the top obnoxious
Yeah.
about it at that point. He was such an asshole to
Yeah.
us all night long, to the comics, that we couldn't take it. But I find that when you do comedy in a place that is known as a music venue, and they have their traditional music crowds, those music crowds are used to hanging out, listening to music, and talking.
Yeah.
So they're not good traditional comedy crowds.
No.
They think they could still talk and hang out, and they don't listen.
Well, that's why a good host will give them the rules.
Yes.
And reel them in.
Yes.
And, you have to do that. You need the spotlight. You need the good sound system, and you have to reel them in, because if you don't.
And that's why a lot of times when I go to gigs that places I've never been to before, I have an LED spotlight. I throw it in the trunk of my car. I throw my Bose system in there, because I drove up to Saratoga, New York to do a show one time, and we got there and they had a red spotlight, because they were used to having acoustic music in this place. And the sound system was a 4-foot cord that plugged into a wall for the house system.
Oh, yeah. That.
And they had nothing. Yeah. So we set up our light, our sound, and did the show. And thank God we had it, because it made the show better. Because you're right. You need a focal point. You need a decent sound. We don't need much as comedians.
No.
But what we need makes it so crucial to a good show.
Things. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny. I did a show a couple of weeks ago. I started doing this show about 6 or 8 years ago called the Royal Flush Comedy Show. And I just started bringing it back. And I brought it back a couple of weeks ago to a venue that is notorious for just no matter how good or how many announcements you make, because of the high ceilings, when people start talking, they don't realize how loud they're being. So it just ends up being a loud venue. And unfortunately, you have to kind of control that. But I didn't realize just how important that spotlight was until that started. The show started. First two comics struggled a little bit. Stephanie Peters goes up. She's the queen on the Royal Flush show. She's doing great, but they're still loud. So I was like, oh shit, I forgot to turn the spotlight on. Let me turn the spotlight on. Well, I turn it on and it's at 100% fucking dim. So we're literally like, it blasts her in the eyes. She starts screaming and yelling and like, what the fuck? So I turn it off. I try to reset it. But as soon as I had that light on her, as much as she was complaining, the room got quiet.
Yeah.
The room got quiet because everyone's eyes were on her.
Yep.
You know,
like a bug zapper.
And it's so important. You don't realize just how important. And I got hired. I'm doing a show this Saturday for Howie Mason out in Connecticut, and he actually reached out to me. He goes, "Hey, any chance you could bring a spotlight?" I was like, "Yeah, no problem," because he recognizes how important that is.
Oh yeah.
Having that system, having that setup where you are the center of attention, it's just so important.
Well, I noticed
people don't realize it.
I noticed it this past Saturday, the fundraiser that I was running. When we got ready to start the show, I turned the spotlight on, shut the house lights off in the room. Automatically, people all start getting quiet. Because that's instantly like in a theater. When you flash the lights and then a few minutes later you shut the lights off, everyone stops talking naturally. Because it's like a signal that the show's starting.
Just don't do what I did.
Uh-oh.
Back in the day, I grabbed one of those 5,000 watt Home Depot lights.
Oh,
yeah. And I put that right in the front.
Like the construction lights?
Yeah. And everybody's like, what the fuck? Hey, this is going to be a great night of comedy. Going to bring up some funny people. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah, it's not the same as a spotlight.
No.
Not the same.
No, there's no dimmer on that. You got to explain, hey, guys, in a little bit, a crane's going to be bringing some girders over here.
Yeah, really.
Sorry.
Really.
Well, I tried to be cheap years ago when I bought like a can light and just put a bright bulb in it. And as soon as I walked up first to start the show, I'm like, this is not going to work. It was just being blasted in the face with this bright light. Right. It just looked stupid. It was terrible.
Funny.
It was terrible.
The woes,
You live and learn. But this is a good segue, I think, Ace.
I was just going to say, that's a great segue.
This is a good segue because we talk about the weird places people put us into shows, and we talk about the unique stuff. That I think it's time for our favorite question. It's called the funny bad gig. Now, these are the gigs that we have as comedians that the night that they happen, not so funny for us, not so funny at all, makes you reconsider your career choice of going into comedy. But a few weeks later, as the sting wears off, this is your war story, your one-up story when you're in the green room with the other comics, and they're like, oh man, I had this bad gig. And you're like, really? Hold my beer while I tell you this story. And this is the story you tell to outdo the other stories.
Yeah. Well, there's one where it was me and Bobby Kelly at Lewis's in Norwood for Dick.
Yep.
We played for two guys playing Keno behind their heads. And the guy didn't even give me a full face. He gave me a half face. He went, "You suck." And
That's
I just went home.
Audience.
I went home, hugged my wife. I said, "That's it. I'm never doing it again."
Yeah.
You know, there's been a few. I can't think of it. I don't know why. I just got a brain fart right now.
That's all right. That's all right.
There's some. There's some good.
There's so many of them.
I did.
Had
Mosley's in Dedham, 500 people. I'm hosting the show. I'm doing a stripper bit. I'm spreading my ass. And
how could this go bad?
Yeah. And all you heard.
Add number 13 to the list.
All you heard was one old lady saying, "What is he doing up there?" And I look over as I'm doing it, and I see Paul Nardizzi crying. He's laughing so hard. And all the comics are laughing. They're the only ones laughing. No one else is laughing. It's quiet. And I hosted, so every time I went up there, they got madder and madder and madder.
Right.
And I didn't give a fuck. I just kept doing it, you know? Grab my nipples, blowing beer bottles. Oh, it was great. Yeah.
Now, Mosley's, was that a strip
for
joint?
A church, I was going to say, for a church fundraiser, maybe you should have toned it down.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, no shit. Just
no
shit.
Ace, those are my specialty to piss them off at a church fundraiser.
Yeah, I know. Which is why you're not doing my church fundraiser this week.
Yeah, no, I had a night like that too, where I pissed them off in the first 2 minutes, and I was hosting, and I had to keep going back up afterwards, and they wouldn't even clap. Like every time I walked back up, they would just cross their arms, and like we're not giving him anything for the rest of the night. It was just brutal. It was absolutely brutal.
That's
those.
the worst. That's the worst when you alienate the audience in the front of the show.
Yeah, right up
and
front.
Then but you're hosting, so you're forced to go back up multiple times just to piss them off.
Yeah. The worst part is I booked that show, so I had to wait at the end to collect the check so I could pay the other comics. Take it out on the other comics. I got to go up to the people that were pissed at me and go, yeah, can I get the check now? So it was awful. I learned a lot that night. That was a big learning experience. So,
I love when you eat it and someone comes up to you and go, hey, great job.
Yeah.
Good steak. You were funny too.
Yeah.
Like when they're blowing a guy. They're like, you were unbelievable. Oh, hey, you were funny too.
The two worst things you could hear after a show is, hey, I thought you were funny.
Yeah.
Or, hey, you were funny too.
Yeah,
those are the two worst things as a comic that you can hear at the end of a show.
There was a night at City Steam. It was Chris Tabb, myself, and one other. I forget who the other comic was. And they come out and they look at Chris Tabb and they go, "You were hilarious. That was so funny." And he's like, "Oh, thanks." They look at me and they go, "We really enjoyed your set too, man. That was great stuff. Thank you." And then they look at the host and they go, "You too." And that, to me, that is just don't say anything. Just walk by me at that point.
You might as well say, yeah, you were forgettable.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just look at him and go, were you on the show? At that point, that's the absolute worst.
Kenny Rogers.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Kenny Rogers said he heard this before when the guy got off stage. He didn't do that well. And the guy goes, "Love the shirt."
I love this shirt. That's awesome.
Love the shirt.
Oh, yeah.
At least they found something positive.
I love Kenny, man. Another funny
motherfucker. Oh my God. We listen, we had him on a couple of years ago, and it was so funny because, we asked people, like, when did you start? What was your first open mic? What was your first paid gig? And every time we'd ask him, him and I think Mike McDonald, a couple of the guys, but Kenny in particular, he's like, yeah, dates are kind of fuzzy. He had no idea when he started, what day it was, nothing,
man.
And he was one of those guys we turn on the microphone and just let him go.
Just
let him go.
Yeah, he's
easily.
Great. Have you had my buddy Jimmy Dunn on the show? He's unbelievable.
We had Jimmy
Jimmy's
Dunn
got great stories, man.
We had Jimmy Dunn on this year, right?
Yeah, it was this year.
Earlier this year. So it'll probably make one of the best of episodes.
He was a fantastic storyteller. Fantastic storyteller.
Oh, yeah. He's got great stories, man.
Well, because the great thing about Jimmy is when he's telling a story, he's very aloof about it, which makes it even funnier because he's just.
Well, it's funny when he gets when I work with him. Sometimes he gets mad at a comic, and he looks just like Matt Ryan to me. And me and my son say, "It looks just like Matt Ryan." And there's little gifts out there, like with Matt Ryan freaking out, and he's looking all mad. And I was like, "Jimmy, this was you watching his act last night." Oh, it's great. It's so funny, man.
Yeah, Jimmy doesn't hold back. I did a set. I think it was for Radigan. Years ago up in Lawrence. It was for like a Catholic school. And look, I do a lot of stuff about going to Catholic school, being a kid and going and being Catholic. So it was my audience. I just had a great set. And I get off, he goes, "Could you kill any more?" Thanks. Thanks. I'm like, sorry, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's funny.
Now, Dan, is there anything we can promote for you, can put out there, like website, social media, anything like that?
I have nothing. I am a loser. No, like tomorrow night I got a benefit for Mike Clark tomorrow at Giggles.
Okay.
But Saturday night, I'm doing something with Dave, my good buddy Dave Russo.
I love
Russo.
Dave, yeah.
Are you going to Fulcino Vineyards, 1 hour north
I've
of
done
Boston,
that. That was great.
outside
Have
of
you done that?
Nashua, New Hampshire? We
I,
had Dave on. We had Dave on. He drank an entire bottle of wine from the convent, and I don't know how much we learned about Dave other than the
Well,
fact
we know where
that
Fulcino
No.
Vineyards are.
we know where Fulcino Vineyards is. It's 1 hour north of Boston, outside of Nashua, New Hampshire.
Yes.
All right. Here's my funny Dave story. Okay, we're at the Comic Connection, Rhode Island.
Yep.
So he goes up. He goes, "All right, everybody, this is my TV set. This is my TV set. Ready?" And he does it. 5 minutes. 5 minutes TV set. What did you think of my TV set? They're all dying. They're yay. So I said, "Put me up next." So I go up there. I go, "All right, everybody, this is my TV set." I take a beer bottle. I start blowing the beer bottle. Then I start going like this on my tits. On my chest. That's my TV set. What do you think of my TV set? The fucking place is going nuts. And he's like, "You motherfucker."
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
That's
It's all
So
good. It's all good fun.
now you're on Facebook, right, Danny?
I am. Yeah.
All right. So I'll put a link to Danny's Facebook page in the show notes. So
follow
if
him.
you're interested in checking out one of Danny's shows, and you really should, because like I said at the beginning of the show, he's one of those guys, high energy, fast paced, quick wit, very, very funny. We were joking earlier about trying to keep up with him, that you may miss a joke or two, but don't worry. The next one is right there behind it.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a great comic to go see. He performs with some of the best comics you've ever seen. So, I mean, any show he's on is going to be a stacked show. So you definitely want to check him out. So follow him on Facebook, and you can see where he's going to be to go to one of his shows.
I appreciate that, guys. Man, that's
No,
awesome.
definitely.
Absolutely.
Dan, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you, guys.
We
Appreciate
can't thank we can't thank you enough, especially because we know how busy you've been, especially with, we all have, most of us have day gigs. I know how
unfortunately.
busy it is. That's why I'm in a hotel room in Concord, New Hampshire, because of my day gig. So we appreciate you making the time to come on.
And that's why I'm having a party at Ace's house while he's away.
He's rubbing his nuts on my
Now, are
on
you
my
teaching
chair.
his wife how to do karate and shit?
That's my ex-wife. So
Oh, your
no,
ex-wife.
she
God
lives
bless
in
her.
another place. So hopefully
she's-
he's not there.
But she's coming over later because the cocaine and hookers should be here in the next half hour. So.
Great,
Yeah.
great.
Say
One
it to
more
that
thing
one.
to get me in trouble.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, listen, man.
It was a
really
pleasure,
appreciate
guys. It really
Thank
was.
you, Danny. Thank you.
Anytime you want to come back on, let us know, man. We'd love to
All
have
right.
you back on.
All right, I'll be in the studio tomorrow. Thanks.
All right.
I'll still be here, so that's fine, Danny.
All right, cool.
Take it easy, buddy.
Wake up, Scott. Scott, wake up.
All
Scott,
of a
that's
sudden-
not a vagina in your mouth. It's a dick. Get it out.
Yeah, I was just going to say Scott wakes up with your dick in his mouth.
Hey.
That'll wake him up.
After this bottle of Noble Oak, it's not going to matter. It's
You wouldn't
not
feel it
going to
anyway.
matter. Yeah, exactly. It's not going to matter. Thanks, Danny.
All right, have a
Thanks,
good night,
Danny.
guys.
We'll talk to
Yeah.
you. Bye. All right, and that was Dan. That was Dan Miller.
He is crazy.
Awesome. Yeah,
He's
no, it's funny.
crazy.
You said it. You said he's very, very quick-witted like that. That's awesome.
And that's him on stage too.
Yeah.
Is just rapid fire, fast, very good material, but his wit is so fast that if something happens in the room, if
People
somebody
miss it.
says something, anything happens, he can just jump on it and go with
Yeah.
it. And yeah, if the laughs are going to be big, and you're probably going to miss something because he doesn't wait, because I think it's
Well,
it's just stream of consciousness, and it's coming out. And
but a lot of us who I don't. Not to say it was like a formal thing, but a lot of us who were influenced by Kevin Knox are like
Yes.
that. And
Yeah.
I find myself,
point.
I run into the same thing because that's how Kevin was. He was
Yeah.
rapid fire. And if you didn't keep up with him in the first 10 minutes, you learn to keep up with him. So by 20 minutes in, you could be rapid fire because
Yeah.
people would you've brought the crowd up to your level of energy at that point. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Kevin was one
So-
of those guys that could squeeze an hour and a half of material in a 50-minute set,
Easily.
because he was
easily.
just so rapid fire.
Yeah.
And, he was another one of those. And I think that was a trait of a lot of Boston comics. Lenny Clark can be
Well,
like that at
Lenny,
times.
Don Gavin.
Don Gavin,
all of those guys are like that,
I've seen Tom Cotter with his one-liners be like
Yep.
that,
Yeah.
a type of thing that rapid fire, just one after another, really just funny stuff. But Danny's one of those guys that is just flown under the radar all
Yeah.
these years. He's been around for a while.
I didn't realize he had been around since '92.
I didn't either.
He's only been 3 years behind me, so.
I didn't either. 30 years in, and still.
And I don't think I've ever
punching away
worked
at
with
it.
him. I don't think I've ever gotten to work with him either.
Twice on Parada gigs, I worked with him.
Yep.
Twice on Parada gigs, and then I saw him at Giggles one time. I went up there. Russo they was doing a benefit for his sister's family.
Oh yeah.
And
Yep.
I was doing a show nearby, and I went over afterwards to support Russo at the show, and Danny was doing a spot on the show.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it, though. Other than that, I haven't run into him that much. So, but he's another great guy from Boston.
It was awesome to get him on. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So.
All right. Well, listen, folks, as you heard at the beginning of the podcast, we really appreciate you watching. We really appreciate anyone who listens. Please give us that 5-star written review. We're still in the month of November. So
Yes.
as we said at the beginning of the month, if you write us a 5-star written review, you will be put in a drawing where you can win a T-shirt. Well, I don't know if you even remember you saying this, but you can win a T-shirt. You can win a signed copy, actually, because we got a signed copy.
He signed
from
it that
Brandon
night.
Kirby.
I was going to say that. I remember that.
Yep. Do you remember much from that night? Because you were shot out of a fucking cannon, my friend.
It's Seinfeld night. I was so excited.
Yeah, you were quoting left and right. But no, Brendan Kirby actually signed a copy of the official Seinfeld cookbook. And so you'll get that. And then I don't know if you remember this, Scott, but you said you would throw in a copy of Glamour magazine.
I don't
remember that? You're going to go back and re-listen to the episode, because as we were talking about what we were going to give away, we said the cookbook.
Glamour magazine.
Yes, we said the cookbook.
That's because George's mother caught him.
That's right. We said we were going to give away the cookbook.
If I said it, I will give a copy of Glamour magazine.
You said, and I'll give a copy of Glamour magazine. Yes, you did.
I could see Good Housekeeping.
I just listened to it. I just listened to the episode again today, and I'm like, does Scott even realize half the shit he said on that episode? No, I don't think so. So yeah, folks, listen. Give us a 5-star written review. You will be in the drawing for those prizes. We also appreciate the 5-star written reviews
very much.
And if you want
to kick your fanhood up to the next level,
give us
and help out a couple of struggling comics.
Give us a couple of shekels.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
You can go to our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/behindthefunny, where you can, there's one simple giving level and you will get all kinds of extra content as well as some merch.
Awesome.
So next week we have another local guy, Doug Womet, is going to be in town. He's one of those up and coming guys that not only is up and coming as a comic, but as a booker as well.
Producer, yeah.
He's producing shows like
this guy hustles.
Really good. He's a very good hustler. So we really want to talk to him not only about his comedy career, but how he got into the hustling and booking part, because not a lot of people come out of the gates and are newer comics who start booking comedy like right off the rip.
Because as we know, producing shows can be a lot of work and a lot of stress sometimes. Mm-hmm. So to take that on as well as trying to build your career is, a big task. So, and he seems to be doing it pretty well. So that'll be an interesting conversation.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So,
yeah, definitely.
So listen, folks, thanks so much. We appreciate you watching. We appreciate you listening. And other than that, we will talk to you
next week.